All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the all summer league first and second teams by the NBA media. Man, are they trash? I think they're trash. Honestly, let's be real here. Let me get the chat going here. Test out the good old chat feature. I think it worked. Now, if I type in, say, NBA media stinks, it'll pop up here in just a minute. All right, thanks for joining us. Today I'm talking about the NBA media came out with their official all summer league teams. There it is. There's my little chat. So yeah, today I'm talking about that. It'll be a relatively quick stream, and then afterwards I am going to do a stream about my personal all summer league teams, like I was planning on doing. And let's just jump into it. So before we do, real quick, subscribe to the channel, comment, join the chat, because I got the little fun chat feature up, so you can type in stuff and see it on screen here for the first time in ever. So yeah, let's just get started. So first team, which was made into a like 7-man roster for whatever reason, it comes in as Jalen Johnson, Davion Mitchell, Trey Murphy, Peyton Pritchard, Jalen Smith, Cam Thomas, and Obi Tophan. So this was the NBA Summer League first team selected by a panel of media. So I don't even know what that means exactly. Are they just getting people from, who are covering the NBA? Are they just basically just saying, hey, who do you think was good? And that was it. Like, I don't exactly know what the whole criteria was for these players. But yeah, anyway, let's get into it. First of all, there were ties, as it says here on screen. It says there were ties between Davion Mitchell, Peyton Pritchard, and between Jalen Johnson, Trey Murphy, and Jalen Smith. So they ended up just adding two more, I guess, positions for the summer league team, for the all summer league team. So instead of just having 5 players, it's 7 because of the ties, which is okay, I guess. I don't know. I would just tell guys to pick one way or the other. So I'm going to hate on this list a little bit. I look at it. Jalen Johnson deserves to be there for sure. Davion Mitchell, I guess. I mean, I wasn't crazy about his performance in the last game of Summer League, although he did perform pretty well. He also had more games because he played in the California kind of Sacramento hosted Summer League games. So I don't really know if that kind of makes it, because we just saw more of Davion Mitchell. Does that make it so it's like, oh, well, then, he obviously was doing stuff and we were seeing more highlights of him because he played more games. So obviously we're going to put him up there. So maybe, I don't know. That one's the one that's least, I'm least worried about. Trey Murphy deserves to be there. I think Trey Murphy played very, very well, shot the ball. He had I think it was his first game that he played really well. And then second to last game, he played really well. But Trey Murphy played defense. He shot the ball. He could pass. I mean, Trey Murphy did really, really well. And I'm thinking this from the perspective of, what if these games happened before the NBA draft even happened? And these were just scrimmage teams. Who would have boosted their stock? And for second-year guys like Peyton Pritchard, how do I feel about them moving into next season, potentially getting a rotation spot? That's kind of how I personally think of kind of creating these all summer league teams. But I digress. Let's move into who's next here. Peyton Pritchard, I think, definitely deserves to be there. Played very good for the Boston Celtics. Shot really well from 3, which obviously is probably a little bit unsustainable, and you kind of saw it drop off in the final game against Sacramento. So Pritchard, I think, deserves to be there. So I got a meh on Davion Mitchell, and then 3 solid dudes that I think should be there. Then we get to Jalen Smith, and I'm like, what is this? The dude had 2 really solid games, maybe 3, to end the season of Summer League, and he gets first team for that. I didn't even see him on the court play against some teams. I think their first game was against Utah, maybe it was second. But I remember watching that game. I was like, where's Jalen Smith? Is he even playing? So, and I don't even know if he played that night. So I don't think Jalen Smith deserves to be on here. He played really good games, I'll admit, to end his Summer League stint. But for us to reward, or for the NBA media, I should say, to reward Jalen Smith for that, I just think it's just really stupid and really ignorant. Okay. Cam Thomas, I think, definitely deserves to be right there. I probably I like in my personal opinion, I think he probably bumps to the second tier, so the second team, which isn't like a huge deal. But I still like him. I'm fine with him being a part of the first team. Cam Thomas just absolutely scored at such a great rate in the summer league, and was a dude who was just shooting really well. He shows that he can kind of be in the NBA and be able to get a bucket when he wants to, and a very talented scorer who can score at all three levels. Now, how much time he gets with the Nets this upcoming season, I don't know, but maybe in the future, in a couple of years, he can develop into, I've always said, a Lou Williams-esque type of a player, because he still can't play a lick of defense. Obi Tophan. Yeah, he's another dude that I'm kind of like, I don't know why he's on the first team. His efficiency wasn't the greatest. I know he put up points. I know that when you looked at the box score for most of these games, you would see 20 points and 10 rebounds plus, right? So 20 plus points, 10 plus rebounds for a guy like Obi Tophan for the Knicks. But I didn't really understand exactly what pushes him over the top of other guys of being somebody who would get first team honors. I mean, is he better? Was he better than Kade? I guess maybe. If you're just looking at stats, I guess he was better than what Kade Cunningham provided. Is he better? Was he better than Alperen Sengun, who I'm going to talk about in a minute? I don't think he was. So Toppin here is kind of like, okay, I guess. So like, there's the three people here. Jalen Smith, the most egregious pick of all here. I don't know why he's on the first team. I don't even think he's on any, like, if you have three teams, I wouldn't even put him on any, to be honest with you. Obi Toppin, and then Davion Mitchell, I'm kind of just about, right? But let's move to the second team and talk about them, because the second team is, I threw up in my mouth when I saw it, I'll be honest with you. So, Kade Cunningham comes into as part of the second team for the Detroit Pistons. Look, Kade struggled in some games with his shot. They were having him play off ball, which I don't think he'll play when he's actually a part of the Pistons this upcoming season. I think he'll be on the ball a lot of the time, but they are going to probably play him alongside Killian Hayes, who also needs the ball in his hand as well. So testing that out kind of makes sense, but Kade still played pretty good. So I'm not like horrified about him being a part of the second team. I think that's pretty solid. And now let's talk about Luka Garza, his fellow Pistons teammate, who the Detroit Pistons signed to a 2-way contract. This has to be like one of the weirdest ones I think that's on the list. I think the NBA media, honestly, would just be like, hey, I guess, this dude, we remember him playing at Iowa. He was a really good college player. Like, I can't remember. I was listening to something where they were like just freaking out about how Luka Garza is like one of the best college basketball players the last few years, which I agree with. And, teams just weren't high on him. And he almost wasn't going to be drafted. He wasn't even a part of my top 60 guys that I thought were good. So Garza getting to be on the part of the second team, I think it's just kind of like, you saw a couple 20 and 10 games to end the season, but he wasn't even starting. The dude wasn't even starting in the summer league, and yet he gets the second summer league team. What? That doesn't make any sense. So I'm a little irate about that. Still doesn't play defense. Look, the summer league is meant for some perimeter players, but it's also meant for some big men too, if they're scorers. And he had his way playing against dudes that he's not going to play against when he actually enters the NBA, if he gets any minutes in the NBA. I think he's a G League producer this year, but for us to look back at Summer League and be like, you couldn't have had Summer League without Luka Garza, I think it's just a horrible, like, were you watching games? I don't think you were. Even highlights, honestly. So, yeah. All second team then goes to Jalen Green. He was okay, I guess. This one I'm not crazy about. I think he should be a part of the first team. I know he didn't play a whole lot of games. He did miss some games with them holding him out. But, yeah, I don't have a huge issue with this one. I would bump him up to this first team, but it is what it is. At least he's getting some representation on this list as opposed to other people, maybe other people on his team that aren't even mentioned. Paul Reed comes in. Paul Reed was solid. I liked what he did kind of in the latter half of Summer League. dude is solid. I think he's going to break minutes into the NBA and play for the 76ers this upcoming season and get some run there in Philadelphia. And then Patrick Williams, not really too impressed. I mean, I understand Patrick Williams we obviously didn't see him last year because there's no summer league due to COVID. But I didn't really see a whole lot from him this summer league to make me be like, man, this dude is like one of the top 10 dudes in summer league. Not at all. I mean, he was okay. He had the one game where he went off for 30, but nothing else. It's just crazy. I don't understand it. Another one where I'm kind of just like, I don't really believe that at all. Now let's really quickly take a look at NBA Twitter, which is almost worse than the NBA media. This dude says, second team would destroy the first team, lol. I looked at that and I was like, that's stupid. But then I realized, oh wait, Jalen Green and Kade Cunningham are on the second team, so actually that probably makes sense. A Nuggets fan comes in here. Bull World says, Bowl with a bunch of question marks. Empty stats is what Charles Barkley's burner account says. Okay, all right. Garza over Sengun is a travesty. Okay, so it's a good transition for me to be able to move into my next point. Okay, I already gave you kind of my WTF players. Like, why are we putting Luka Garza on there? Why are we putting Jalen Smith on there? Why are we putting Patrick Williams on here? Here's 3 better players. Okay, first I'm going to start with the one that I'm like less high on, but I still feel like he should have gotten represented a little bit. Jonathan Kuminga. Kuminga played pretty solid. I liked what I saw from him. I personally was a dude who, if you watched any of my videos before the draft, I was kind of saying, like, I'm not super high on Kaminga. I think he shot really bad at the G League during the G League season. Seemed to me like he was just taking ill-advised shots. In the summer league, he kind of grew as a player. I liked what I saw from him defensively. I think he showed some strides. A good athlete. Again, high ceiling. And when Golden State drafted him at 7, I thought that was a little too high. But now I'm kind of just like, okay, after what I saw from Summer League, I was like, okay, makes a little bit more sense now. So Kaminga was a dude that I think should have gotten a little bit more love by the NBA media. The second, are you kidding me? Chris Duarte doesn't make a team? You pick, so you add 2 more spots. If you would have told me they had to add 2 more spots, and then they also had a second team that was 5, that was 5 players, so 12 players in total, and you were to tell me that there was a tie between a couple guards that made it so the first team had to expand, I would have totally been like, oh yeah, one of those guards has to be Chris Duarte. Absolutely. He's not even on one of these teams. Crazy. Insane. Duarte just played under control. He shot the ball pretty well. He seemed poised out there. He's an older player, so he should dominate. And while I'm not super high on like Duarte's ceiling, I still think he's a solid contributor on an NBA team. Probably, maybe this season. I mean, I know they got Brogdon and McConnell there in Indiana, so maybe he doesn't get a whole lot of run, but he also plays the other guard position as well. Maybe they move off of Lamb. They still have obviously Karis LeVert and TJ Warren as far as wing players in Indiana. So I would hope that Duarte gets a little bit of run, but if he doesn't, maybe he doesn't. But in Summer League, hey, he was great. And I don't understand where the NBA media is coming with this, with saying, oh yeah, we're not going to put Duarte on our top 12 list that we're making. Crazy. Insane. And then Alperen Sengun being ahead of Luka Garza, like the tweet said, holy. Sengun was a baller. Sengun actually played in the Summer League, unlike Garza. I'm pretty sure, even with Garza starting the last 2 games and Sengun sitting out, I think the last 2 games, I'm pretty sure Sengun had more minutes than Garza did. Absolutely insane. Insane. If you're going to punish guys for sitting out games, like, again, I understand Jalen Green, I understand Josh Giddey, because they, I get it. But if you're going to punish dudes for sitting out games, then punish Jalen Green, because Jalen Green should have been punished for not playing in enough games. If you're going to say that about Sengun or something, I don't know. Garza, dude, what are we doing? What are we doing? Anyway, that's enough with my rant. I'm probably going to do more of these. If I see any garbage on NBA media, I'm probably going to call it out for what it is. Call a spade, as they say. And yeah, I'm upset. And let's see if we got anything good coming from this. Let's see. Okay, so Dr. Clouchy. Oh my gosh. Dr. Clouchy says Jalen Smith first team all summer league a month after he couldn't sniff a minute in the finals. on an undermanned Suns team that needed bodies. Monty might have ev'd up that one. Maybe. I agree, actually. I think he can play in the league. I don't know why we didn't see him in the finals. Or it's Summer League. Marie, is it a girl? Or it's Summer League and the NBA scrubs ball out in the Summer League. Stop overreacting. Maybe I'm overreacting. Knicks fan says, where's Quickly? Lol. Quickly was also pretty solid, but he also had a garbage first and last game of the season, which this dude says. His last 2 games were horrific. NBA should win, or the team would win the NBA title this year without hesitation, mostly because they play 7 versus 5, so it's very easy for them. Stupid. And then, yeah, so that's it. I'm going to end this stream. Got some good content out of it. In about 15 minutes, I'll probably do another video where I'm talking about my personal all NBA teams for the Summer League, and go from there. Thanks for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.